There's a classic argument for the deity of Christ that's especially useful when talking to door-to-door evangelists like Jehovah's Witnesses, but it works with just about anyone. In this video, we'll refer to the visitor as Bob. Conversations about the deity of Christ with Jehovah's Witnesses often focus on the opening of the Gospel of John.
In John 1, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God."
Which begins with, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." All standard Bible translations say basically the same thing. However, the Jehovah's Witnesses New World Translation, NWT, renders it quite differently. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God." According to the NWT, then, the Word is some kind of divine being, but not the one true God. Unfortunately, discussions focused on John 1:1 are often unproductive because the dispute depends on nuances of Greek grammar that most of us simply don't understand. So instead of getting stuck there, you can bypass the argument with a simple move. Ask Bob, "Do you know Greek?" If he says no, respond, "Neither do I, but we both know English." So let's drop down 2 verses to something that's clear in both translations. John 1:3 reads, "All things came into being through him, and apart from him, nothing came into being that has come into being." The NWT says almost the same. "All things came into existence through him, and apart from him, not even one thing came into existence." Have Bob read both versions aloud and agree that the meaning is essentially identical. Then say, "I want to illustrate something for you that shows the implications of this verse." Take out a sheet of paper and draw a large box. Explain. "This box represents everything that exists, has ever existed, or ever will exist. Everything is in here. Nothing exists outside this box." Next, draw a line through the box, dividing it into 2 halves. On the left side, write, "All things that never came into being," i.e. all things that are uncreated and self-existent. Ask Bob, what belongs in this category? If he says God, he's absolutely right. Only God is uncreated, he simply is. So write God in the left half. On the right side, write, "All things that came into being," i.e. all created things. Now refer back to John 1:3. According to that verse, all created things came into being through the Word, who, as we later see in John 1:14, became Jesus. Pause and confirm that Bob understands this setup. Remind him, this box contains all of existence. Every single thing that exists fits into one of 2 categories. 1, it either came into being, was created. 2, or it did not come into being, was uncreated. There is no third option. Nothing can belong in both categories, and nothing can exist outside the box. Next, take a coin or any small object and say, "Let this represent Jesus, the incarnate Word." Hand it to Bob and say, "Place Jesus in the category where he belongs." Bob's instinct will likely be to place the coin in the created things category because Jehovah's Witnesses believe that Jesus was created by Jehovah and that everything else was created through Jesus. But here's the key. John 1:3 doesn't allow that. All things came into being through him, and apart from him, nothing came into being that has come into being. That means Jesus, the Word, caused all created things to come into existence. Therefore, he must have existed before anything was created. If Jesus himself had been created, he would have had to create himself, which is logically impossible. He would have had to exist before he existed in order to bring himself into being. That's absurd. So Jesus cannot be placed in the created things category. At this point, Bob might suggest placing Jesus outside the box. But that's not possible either. The box contains everything that exists. There is no outside. If Jesus isn't in the created category, the only remaining option is the uncreated one. Therefore, Jesus is uncreated. He is the creator. And if he is the uncreated creator, then by definition, Jesus is God.